the first game of the weekend. I mean, Ulster and Connacht.
Yeah,
Connacht winning that one.
10-15.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
But it was a weird game. Like Connacht had got a whole bunch of penalties there in the beginning.
Yes.
They went quite far ahead.
Yeah.
Like 9-3
Yeah.
up. I don't know if the weather was that good or anything, but
shouldn't have an impact on
bit of a
Ulster.
heavy field or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like a test match.
Yeah.
You know. And I thought, like, I don't know, Ulster's like seems to be in a weird place because they were so good at the beginning of the season, and they had that terrible run in the Champions Cup.
Yes.
And then they seem to play pretty well again.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be disappointed with that end.
No, very disappointed. And if you look at the log position, they were at home. They were supposed to be favourites. I suppose with derbies, it's less of an advantage to play at home.
Yeah, but what it's telling me is just their insane depth in Irish rugby.
Yes,
I mean,
no, it's crazy.
They've got all their teams in the top 8 of the ERC, and then their friggin' supposedly weakest team goes and beats Ulster, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Stormers for the semi next week should take this to be an easy game.
No, definitely not. No, they shouldn't take them lightly.
And how good are Munster now as well? Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah, the teams are also strong. Yeah.
But so Connacht, well done. I mean, kind of like they're like my favorite, one of my favorite Irish teams.
Jack Carty was the guy. Sorry, Connacht. He just kicked every single penalty. Yeah. Yeah. Then it was Stormers Bulls.
Stormers Bulls. Speaking of kicking everything over, Jan Goosen couldn't even kick one in front of the posts.
Yeah, it was. Look at two things that before the game that I think in the end had quite an impact. When I saw the starting lineup and I saw Dion Fourie was starting, I thought to myself,
there's a problem. And that was it wasn't
again.
just him. It wasn't just him. It was like Kitsoff. I mean, how many turnovers did we give away?
Yes, a lot. Way too many.
Yeah. But in the end, I said it on the group, 3 tries all.
Yes, it was a good game. It was a good match, good rugby match. We were competitive. The Bulls are looking the way they should be looking again. I think they still need to strengthen. I don't know if the plan is to bring Charlie Ewells into the starting lineup at some stage. Surely he didn't come here to play Currie Cup rugby, I don't think.
I just feel like the locks we have are pretty decent.
Yeah,
they're like up and coming, you know.
Yeah.
For Mark, I thought it was a bit of a shining light in there.
Yes, he had a good season.
He had a pretty good season, and he's a young guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fairly young. He's been around. I think we got him via Japan or something. He came from the Lions originally. But, you know, you said decent. Is decent good enough?
No, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
But what I want to see is, I mean, the previous 3 years are under 20. Matfield pointed this out. Under 20 Bulls won the under 20 Currie Cup.
Yes.
I want to see those guys coming through. I don't know if they are, but I'm tired of the Harold Fosters who grubber kicks, you know, through when we're like behind.
Yes.
And I mean, even Goosen. I mean,
we keep hoping. Well, you guys like not so much, but I keep hoping that we see why was he the best player in France a couple of years ago? Are we still going to see that? Is that gone now? Is it done?
Or is he just a fly-off, maybe?
Yeah, look at that's the other thing. It was disruptive. Kanan Moody's injury.
Yes, and that was, I mean, him
reshuffling the back line right before the game started. It's tough.
He and Curtly Orange are like, they're like our best players.
Yeah, and if you look at the amount of ball that Goosen got, that if Arendse got that amount of ball from kicks, because there was a lot of kicking.
He got like one ball and then he did something with it. You know?
Could have been a better start for the Bulls, because it's look, try after 8 minutes by Diamani, yellow card, try by Leolin Zas after 33 minutes. We scored just before halftime, but we were chasing the game from the beginning. Those 2 tries just put us on the back foot. I mean, if we could just start better, but that's like we got the game started with Herschel Yankees kicking the ball, and then in the end they had a line out right there and an attacking play.
But that came from a massive forward pass. But anyway,
they were on the attack for like the first 20 minutes of the game, and we just couldn't get that start. We actually played really well. The Bulls played really well in the second half, but you got to give it to the Stormers. They came out firing.
But are they good enough to beat the Irish teams? I don't think so. Not away. Maybe at home.
Yeah, I think that another factor was the Cape Town Stadium. I mean, the pitch is terrible.
It's
conditions that they're used to, and the crowd was huge.
Yeah,
and they must have had a little bit of an impact on Jakob Peyper as well.
Speaking of the crowd, I found the crowds in Ireland to be a little bit disappointing. Like for the Sharks Leinster game, like they only had the bottom
tiers open. Yeah, I think weather plays a part in.
No, it was sunny. It was like a day.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on then to the Sharks and Leinster.
Yeah, so that ended 33-20.
Did the Sharks play?
21. You don't want to say anything about Jakob Peyper?
No.
I think 50-50 calls, but that's at home, huge crowd, 50-50 calls.
My cousins are all Stormers fans. They're from the Cape.
Yeah.
And I immediately was like, no, that yellow card wasn't a yellow card because Davids was already out. And then they were like, no, it should have been a penalty try. Then I got a bit sassy, and then I went to watch the video again, and I'm like, maybe I was wrong.
There was nothing. I don't think there was anything blatant. Jake White also carried on afterwards. Apparently, I read an article where he.
I thought Rowan Nortje. This is not Marius Jonker. Rowan Nortje's try was a try. I thought the disallowed try.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that because the ball was kind of next to his hand.
Yeah, but he said he didn't ground it. But then he did ground it after that. He says there was no. It didn't. There was no like loss of contact with the ball.
There was no loss of contact.
He says that, but there was no downward pressure. But then he did. He immediately afterwards put downward pressure on the ball.
Yeah. Then the only thing you could have said that was it a knock on then?
No. But he specifically says it never came away from his because it was then I think it was a 22, wasn't it? Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
A little bit unlucky, but I think they were the better team.
Speaking of better teams, Leinster.
And Leinster Sharks scored first with probably the Sharks' best player of the season, Grant Williams. Ball just spat out of the ruck and he just picked it up and
he was gone.
He just has so much pace.
Yeah.
And then they were a non-entity.
There was just no one. And Leinster, I mean, they kept. As soon as they get it wide, they're gone. You know? Yeah. How many tries did they score like that? You know? But their internationals are just a class above the rest. I mean, I think it was
wasn't
Doris.
Their strongest team.
I know, but the guys that were there, I think it was
Kevin
Doris.
Scored a try as well.
He ran at Gerban Grobler.
Yeah,
just ran over him.
Yes, yeah, it was like a huge contact, and he still scored the try.
Yeah, I know. Grobler is a substandard lock. Yes, sorry to say that, but.
They need
proper.
The engine room needs to be better.
Yeah.
It's a bit for the huge loss for them.
Yeah.
And guys like James Venter and those guys starting a URC quarterfinal.
Sia is just ahead of James.
Yeah. They lost Sia Khaleesi and I mean, those two huge Springboks.
Yeah.
That they lost. I think they gave a debut to a guy. Yesterday.
Yeah, that lock.
Yeah.
That blonde guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know his name. But he seemed to be okay though. He looks decent.
He must be one for the future
But anyway,
if he got the nod.
I mean Leinster, I mean they
35
played was it a semi last week of the Heineken Cup?
Yeah.
And I mean now they play the quarter, they absolutely smashed the Sharks.
Smashed the Sharks. I thought Harry Burns starting, a few other guys, Gibson Park not starting, Jason Jenkins hasn't really been starting for them all season. I thought, that's a bit brave, and
no, they're just too classy.
Didn't make an impact. They probably would have won by a bigger margin if they picked all their regular A-team starters, but they're obviously saving them for the Heineken Cup final against La Rochelle, same as last year.
La Rochelle.
And then the last one.
I'm sad for the Glasgow Warriors, but Munster is on this. I mean, I don't know if it's just that we have weak teams, but
they love having Erge back.
They friggin' beat the Stormers, even though Mani Lubbock showed his true potential there by missing the easy kicks and whatever. But against us, then he's
against us he was on point.
Yeah,
getting the gap, scoring a try.
Munster's is on a crazy streak.
Yes,
I mean. I almost wonder whether they don't have enough momentum. Maybe
they had Tyke Byrne back, they had Erge Snyman back, so where a lot of our teams have these huge gaps, inexperienced guys. They brought all those guys back, So they're looking good.
Yeah, I mean, Glasgow played well this season, so I feel bad for them.
It was a close 5-14 is a close game.
Yeah.
You know, I assume it was the 3 tries in the match.
Yeah.
But yeah, great season for Glasgow. At home, I think they would have given themselves a chance. I think Glasgow is going to win. John, I said Munster. He was right.
Yeah, I think that was a good prediction just because of how they've been playing away.
Yeah.
I saw Archie Snyman went off with HIA.
Is it?
A concussion there.
Yes, he goes off every game.
Yeah, he's the glass man.
Yeah. After this, they must wrap him in cotton wool for the World Cup. Yeah, so then obviously the semi-finals is next week, Saturday, 4 o'clock, Stormers Connacht. Yes, I was hoping that would be
the Bulls
at Loftus. We would be at Loftus for a URC semi-final, but the Bulls need to strengthen. I think all our URC teams they're gonna raid the Cheetahs and the.
I want to see us bringing guys from the under-20s.
Yes.
I don't want to see Harold Foster and Mapu and those guys.
Definitely.
I don't want the old Lions players. I want the new the new guys from Pretoria.
There must be a bit of a salary clean out at the Bulls as well.
You know who actually impressed me a little bit is that Nomvuka
when he came on, they've been.
Did you see how tall he is? He's got a big guy. So if they he just needs a little bit of gym work, just a little bit of things, but he looks like he can actually play. Yeah,
no, he's good because he's getting the nod ahead of a guy like Stravino Jacobs, who we actually rate. Yeah, so I think the Stormers are going to win it against Connacht at the DHL Stadium, and then it's Leinster-Munster.
What do you think?
Leinster.
I'm going to go with an upset.
Oh, you're going to go
Munster.
with an upset. I think Leinster's going to pick close to their strongest team. And that is next weekend. That's the 13th of May, That's next weekend. So Heineken Cup, can they rest again? Can they rest guys, Leinster?
Not against Munster.
I don't think they can rest. You're a bit of a slap in the face for the competition if they rest players. But they might rest. It's almost like a big football club, like Manchester City. It's just rotation. They're all good. It's not even resting players. Just the structure's so good that they can almost pick anyone.
Yeah.
You're going to say Munster there.
I'm just going to say Munster because you said Leinster. I'm going to say something different.
Okay. It's only the one other option.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a 50% chance they could win.
Yeah. Well, that's it. The semi-final.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no drinks.
No drinks.
Cheers.
Cheers.